Nigeria Police Force seeks to inform all law-abiding citizens and stakeholders in Rivers State about the upcoming local government election, particularly in the light of recent court rulings. On July 19, 2024, a federal high court in Abuja issued a restraining order preventing the Nigeria Police Force and other security agencies from providing security during the local government election. Additionally, on September 30, 2024, the Federal High Court in Abuja delivered a judgment that again prohibited the Nigerian Police Force and other security agencies from participating in the local government election. Given the circumstances, the Nigeria Police Force has been advised by the Force Legal Department that the ruling from the Federal High Court on September 30, 2024 takes precedence. Recently, an opposition party protested, calling for adherence to the court orders and expressing their determination to prevent any disregard for the law. The Nigeria Police Force encourages all parties to seek appropriate legal redress if they feel aggrieved by any decisions or actions related to the election process. The Nigeria Police Force is dedicated to maintaining law and order and will not stand idly by in the face of potential disturbances. Necessary actions will be taken to enforce the court's orders. All area commanders, divisional police officers, and tactical commanders have been directed to ensure full compliance with the judgment of the Federal High Court. In view of the above, the Nigeria Police Force has been advised by the Force Legal Department to comply with the judgment of the Federal High Court dated September 30, 2024, which bars the Nigeria Police from allowing, participating in, providing security for, or taking part in the Rivers State local government election on October 5, 2024. All other security agencies are also implored to comply with the Federal High Court judgment. In light of these developments, the Nigeria Police Force calls on all citizens to remain peaceful and orderly and to cooperate with law enforcement in upholding the rule of law during this crucial period. SP Grace Iringekoko, Police Public Relations Officer, Rivers State Police Command, signed October 3, 2024. Let me start with you, Honorable Lan. What do you make of this story?
Well, thank you very much, Larissa. And reacting to the particular story in question, honestly, I must say it's uncharitable for a few individuals to have reduced reverend national agencies to become toys for them to go about in achieving their, their direct or ambitious, whatsoever you might call it. I'm just trying to be very, very mindful of my choice of words. The PPRO has come to do what she has been directed, to do. But let's come to think of it. The Nigerian Police Force is an agency of the federal government that was established through the 1999 Constitution. And the 1999 Constitution expressly interpreted the roles and responsibility of the Nigerian police. And you know that the police is a public, office that is meant to engage in activities that are both related to both the common, the average, and the high class within the society. But considering the statement by the PPRO, believe me, it has already made us to understand that today our Nigerian police, ably led by the IGP, has shifted the goalpost. They've taken side. The Nigerian police is supposed to be an unbiased umpire that's supposed to, engage in making sure that citizens, are law-abiding and as well as respect laws. When we talk about politics and when we start to talk about judicial issues, we know those who take precedence. There is a state high court order that has already come in place on the 6th by Justice I.C. Igwe that the Nigerian police should provide the necessary logistics and support.
6th of what?
6th of September, precisely.
6th of September or?
Sorry, 6th of September. 6th of September. And before the Justice Lifu of the Federal High Court judgment came. And the
order of Justice Lifu first, the order, not the judgment, came on July 19th.
Sorry, that, you know, when you look at those judgments, you understand
the order, not the judgment.
Hear me, Choma. The order in question is an ex parte order. We know about that. But now, coming to talk about the issue relating to Rivers State local government election, the order did not in any way stop the elections from ongoing. The order only specifically directed INEC from not releasing a new INEC database to Rivers State voter register, which is also the database. But come to think of it, this is the same register that was already being handed over to all the 36 state SIEC in accordance to the law as regards the 2023 general elections. And come to think of it, all these same elections were all conducted within the units and the ward, and as well as the 704 local governments in Nigeria. And now when the order of Justice Lifu came, the order said that Nigerian police should not give support to the elections, which we know that this is not even a national election. We don't even need all the Nigerian police force within the 36 states of Nigeria to engage in the elections of Rivers State, for crying out loud. And Rivers State, for crying out loud, is too peaceful for individuals to continue to go about, you know, shopping for kangaroo judgment and ex parte orders to make Rivers State look like we are, you know, the theater of the absurd. So I think that at this moment, the Nigerian police is not really doing justice to the reason for the establishment of Nigerian police force.
All right.
And come to think of it again, like I said, they have already made us to understand that we have to resort to self-defense. Because if the Nigerian police, who has the responsibility as enshrined by the 1999 Constitution as amended, to make sure that the citizens are protected, lives and properties, and as well as activities of the state, and the state government has issued a directive for the local government election that cuts across all the 36 states. Rivers State is not exempted from where these local government elections are carried out. These same local government elections were also, you know, conducted in what do you call it? In Ebonyi State some months back, and some other states, even Imo State, few weeks ago. So I don't see the reason why that of Rivers State is different from every other state.
All right.
So, but I want to say that Nigerian police force coming out to make that statement and citing Justice Lifu's ex parte order, not recognizing
Lifu's judgment,
not recognizing that there is an existing judgment and order as well.
Which one takes precedence?
The one that takes precedence is that of the State High Court, because the State High Court and the Federal High Court are courts of the same of equal powers.
Okay. Now the State High Court gives the Federal High Court gives order on the 19th of July, and the State High Court gives order on the, you said 6th of September. And according to you, the order of 6th of September takes precedence to the order of 19th of July. Secondly, the Federal High Court's judgment came before the State High Court judgment. You recall that after the Federal High Court gave his judgment, the State High Court also gave his judgment as well.
So you're tempting me to come in.
No, hold on. I'm still coming to you. No, I will come. No, very quick.
You are using the words interchangeably.
Hold on. When I get to you, you will still correct it. But there was an order first before there was a judgment. Okay. Let's not get it upside down. There was an order first before there was a judgment. And in both order and judgment scenario, the Federal High Courts came first. And the police here is saying that they will obey, that the force headquarters, the force legal department has advised that they should go with that of Federal High Court because it takes precedence. That's one. Now, the second one is this. Who has the job of enforcing court judgment? I think this question will go to Barrister Jamala. Barrister Jamala, you may have your say. And also, I would want you to clarify on the precedence issue and also what the job of the police in this case is.
Jama, before I start, I would like to say, let me react to the statement.
Yes, please go ahead. It is the
statement that is bringing the questions that you're asking. First, let me react. It is unfortunate that Nigeria thrives in an atmosphere of aberration. That is what Nigeria, in fact, Nigerian institutions have been so ridiculed, reduced to the extent that it does appear I can sit down in my house and give some command to institutions of government without going through the lawyer, enabling them to function in the capacity. And that is what, sadly, our politicians in quote have reduced the system of governance to. Now, let's look at the statement released by SP Ringe Ikoko, PPRO of Rivers State. She was right in mentioning the Federal High Court's first order of 19th July. She was also right in mentioning the Federal High Court judgment of 30th July. But she was wrong. Okay, she was, in fact, she did it intentionally.
Absolutely.
Refused to also make allusion to the order of Rivers State High Court as delivered on the 5th. Sorry, let me correct it, it's not on the 6th.
Okay.
As delivered by on the 5th day of September 2023. Now, 2024.
Yes.
Ordinarily, if the police were not biased in the circumstances, the SP Ringe Ikoko would have brought these two judgments before the public. Now, based on the advice from the legal department, we have been told to take the one, assuming without considering that the one of the order made ex parte on the 19th of July takes precedence over a valid, conclusive judgment of court. If the first legal department has asked them to obey, then would have said, okay, thank God you have brought before the general public the two equities. And now you are saying the first in time in equity takes precedence over the other. But the statement released by SP Ringe Ikoko brought it to bear the biased mind of the Nigerian police force.
Okay.
Now let's go into those orders.
Yes.
My colleague has already stated the order in Lifu's ruling. I have the certified true copy of the judgment of court made on the 30th day of September by my Lord Nifu. I have gone through the entire pages of that ruling. There is no way in that judgment where they said police prevent the conduct of an election. My Lord is very aware. I wouldn't know whatever has influenced his decision, but he's very aware that there are provisions in the Electoral Act, in the Constitution, that prevent oust, even Section 60 of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission Act, law, prevents the court from holding an election. Now, let's go to Section 15 of the Electoral Act. Mandates RISEC for the relating with state commissions. Section 15 of the Electoral Act, mandate, is a mandatory order. Now, if you look at Section 4 of the Nigerian Police Act, talks about protection of lives and properties at all times. At all times. 5th of October, inclusive. Yes, they have come to say, we have been asked not to provide. Choma, I ask you, if on the 5th of October, the police is saying the Federal High Court asked them not to provide security, armed robbers pervade the street of Rivers State, will the police sit idle and say, by an order of court, we have been told not to provide security in Rivers State? That is why I said...
Did the police say...
No,
hold on, no, you're misinterpreting this.
Yes, I am not misinterpreting.
No, hold on.
Security for the election.
Exactly. Hold on. It is an entirely different scenario you've painted.
It is not, Choma.
Barrister Jamala, hold on.
The election will be conducted in all the nooks and crannies of Rivers State.
Let me quote you.
Yes.
You said, if on that said day,
yes,
armed robbers,
yes,
invade Rivers State,
yes,
will the police say they will not provide security in Rivers State? It is one thing not to participate in the election, and another thing to provide security for the entirety of Rivers State. Let's not mix it up. These are two different scenarios.
Can you educate me now?
These are two different scenarios.
Educate me so that I will draw you, I will take you to where I'm going.
How does armed robbery attack?
I'm coming now.
Relates
I'm coming, Choma,
to police not engaging armed robbers?
I'm coming. Assuming we are conducting an election in ANT, and we have queues. Some persons, miscreants, came willing the publics who are there queuing to vote. What is that? Is that not a robbery attack?
How is it a robbery attack? You said waylaying, harassing. It's different from robbing. Choose your language. You're a lawyer. I expect you to use the right language.
That I did not. Okay.
Use the right language.
They came with weapons. You know, most times you don't waylay, you don't rob most times with just bare hands. I wanted to read the general context, not just speak my words. If I use waylay alone, does not mean that you should use that to capitalize. Assuming they come now.
Because if you go to court, it's still the words that
if you read that of context, you can read the context in the whole, or you can read it selectively out of context.
In this instance, use the right context.
You are using. Let's not debate.
But I use the right context.
The truth is, Choma, it is clear. It is clear, and it is like I said, it is ridiculous. It is shameful. Sometimes when I see Irengo Koko, I said a refined, gentle woman placed in the responsibility of doing the absurd. That's why you see sometimes you see I'm just taking the command. Just acting.
So now, if I may understand, if I may understand you, Barrister Jamal, are you saying the police should disobey court judgment?
What about the judgment? Wait, I'm coming now. The police cannot be selective in the judgment that they obey.
Absolutely.
They will not cherry pick.
All right.
That is one.
According to law.
Yes, according to
lawyer. Which judgment takes precedence?
The judgment of 5th September by the Rivers State High Court take precedent of the other interlocutory made on the 19th of July. It takes precedence.
Now, if I may ask you again,
the two judgment at par, the two judgment at par is that of the one made on the 30th and that made on the 5th. Now, if you are coming to say the equity is first in time, then we can now fall back to the 5th. You cannot compare a final decision of court.
Was the 5th a judgment or a ruling?
It's a judgment of court.
Not a ruling.
Yes, it was a judgment of court initiated by way of originating summons. It was heard just one day and judgment delivered.
Heard was one day.
Yes, same with that of Lifu.
If I may ask you, Barrister Jamala, before I move over to Emi Feraha, if I may ask you, does the State High Court have the jurisdiction or the powers to give order to a federal institution?
A State High Court has all the powers to give orders to a federal institution that interferes with state activities.
Okay.
Get it right. What it has to do with the interference of a state activity, just like I can enforce my fundamental human right in the State High Court, barring the Nigerian police from arresting me, barring DSS from arresting me. They are federal institutions. But once they have interfered with the state activities, ordinarily the Federal High Court in the circumstance, do you know what they deceive the gullible? They use INEC, they use Nigerian police, they use DSS, and said by the inclusion of these three names, the Federal High Court has
the voter register in question. Is it not a document of a federal institution?
It has not even imposed jurisdiction on the federal court.
Is it not a document?
I have all the legal right.
Is it not the document of a federal institution?
It is a government of the federal institution.
That answers my question.
It has not answered. Let me.
It has actually.
No, if it has answered, I will still explain.
Okay, go on.
It is a document of the federal institution saddled with the responsibilities of doing that, then sending back to the states. Go and read Section 15 of the Electoral Act.
All right. Emi, what do you have to say to this story?
First, I will begin from the foundation that has every other actions because we operate a constitutional democracy. If you go to the ground norm, Section 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, talks about the supremacy of the Constitution and has binding force on all institutions, persons, and individuals that resides within the territory of Nigeria. The Constitution that I am talking about created the police, created INEC, created whatever. In fact, RISEC today is drawing life from the provisions of the Constitution. So every actions that we are to measure, sometimes we need to compare it to the written laws for us to have a better standing, because we are here to enhance our democracy and not to destroy it. We are talking about conduct of election in Rivers State. And by my little understanding of law, when you talk about order, you talk about judgment. Yes, there are two legal concepts, but they are distinct in nature. Order is just an interim instruction that requires a party to carry out a specific action is an interim. A judgment is a finality after consideration given to matter of both sides and decision will come up. What happened in Rivers State, from Rivers State High Court, it was an order. It was an order. It was never a judgment. The only judgment we had, is the judgment that emanates from the Federal High Court. That is the judgment that we have, that emanates from the Federal High Court. Now, we are talking about submitting yourself to the rule of the law. The court has given an order barring the police never to participate. And when we talk about election, it is very clear in our Electoral Act 2022. Section 9 of that Electoral Act mandates INEC to maintain a voter register. And if you read further, the law also mandates INEC to continue to update the voters register we are even referencing now. Is voter register of 2022/2020 that was used in conduct of 2023 general elections. And by practice of law that we've seen in the Nigeria context in terms of elections, after every election, once you clock the age of 18, you are permitted by law to write to INEC that you want to be captured. INEC will consider your applications and all that, and you will be captured. By then, you will now become a qualified electorate, the one who is permitted to cast ballot whenever there is an election. So, by 2022 to 2023, there are people who have clocked the age of 18, and those persons may have even applied to INEC that they want to be captured as registered voters within the Nigerians, because outside the elections, there are other things we use the voters card for. Sometimes we use it in our business transaction or even for identity. So people may have applied. That is why we talk about updated voters register. And the court simply say, don't give Rivers State this document in the conduct of that proposed local government elections. And it is expected that being an institution that is constituted under the laws of the Federal Republic, that agency or institution need to submit to that order or the judgment as emanated from the Federal High Court. That is what the police is even telling you here, that we have been mandated based on the court judgment. We have been refrained from participating in this election. And INEC have also said, based on this court judgment, we have been refrained from delivering this voters register to Rivers State electoral body. Right? Now, what does the Rivers State electoral body has now to conduct an election in Rivers State, where you don't have the vital document that you need first?
But the research chairman has come out to say that he has the voter register.
The thing now is this. Wait, the voter register that he said he has collected in 2023, and the same man, when people were calling for an election in Rivers State, he said there is no plan for an election. That was the initial statement. That the RISEC has not been funded to carry out any activity in regard of an election in Rivers State. That was the first statement. When you have access to a document or you have something in your possession, if you are accused or there is opprobrium with regard to that matter, what you simply do is, please, I have this document already. So people will be aware and be informed that you have it, but you didn't stay so. And INEC, who is mandated to maintain and keep the voter register, said, yes, you applied, but we never officially, as required by law, issue you that voters register. So if you were to find out the truth is from INEC, who has the document. They own the document. They register Nigerians who are considered as eligible voters. It is the document, and they are saying, no, we didn't give it to you officially as required by law, but you are claiming that you have it. It's just like a student who claims to be a graduate of an institution, and he say, this institution awarded me this certificate, and the institution has said, no, we didn't award you this certificate that you are claiming, although yes, you attended our school, you were supposed to be a graduate, but officially we have not issued you or awarded you that certificate. If anybody that is reasonable wants to follow the path of truth and justice should know that the awarding institution has the final say in that matter, except you are able to prove that yes, they offer you or they awarded you that certificate. This is the issue. You are claiming possession of a document that INEC constitutionally is saddled with the responsibility to keep and to maintain and to also update. And INEC is telling you, we have not given you this. And there is now a court restraining the participation of this federal institution. And you say you still want to go ahead with an election. Before you conduct an election, even on election day, before you are allowed to cast your ballot as eligible voter, there must be a voter register that says yes, that you are qualified to cast your ballot in that election.
Under what law?
That is the practice.
It's not the practice. Under what law?
Under the law that
Choma, if I will come in,
you would definitely come in. He did not interrupt.
She has landed.
He asked me under what law?
Yes.
Under section 9 of the Electoral Act 2022.
That deals with.
That deal with voters register.
That this electoral act.
That deal with voter register.
Electoral
you
act.
Must capture.
Hold on, you have your
captured. You must be captured. You must be captured and certified an eligible voter before you cast your vote in any election that required by the law. Rivers State local council election is an election that supposedly that is captured by the laws of the land. It's not a community election. It's not a family election that you just say everybody come out, just queue, and it's an election that is recognized by law. And the processes, as stipulated by the law, must be followed. That is why you have reasonable election that can be justified that this one follows the law. But in this case, you have to conduct an election and you are abandoning the processes.
Do you know?
Right. Now, Jamala, I think hold on. I think it will really hold on. I think it would be nice if we are civil in this conversation.
Yes,
all the while you were speaking, apparently he's towing a very different perspective. He never interrupted you. And the same with you, Lan. So I would expect you are learned follow. Regardless of how much you're boiling, you need to not boil over. See, all right, now you can have your say.
There are issues if we are discussing journalism. Choma, you are an authority right here. We are discussing law.
All right.
With all sense of responsibility and humility. I should be the authority here. Being the only lawyer here. He talks about electoral act.
You are a lawyer.
I'm coming. I know it is presumed that I know the law more than you. Unless you brought institutions of degree. Have you been awarded by any institution of a degree of law, or have you got to law school?
For even qualifying what you have
excuse me, sorry sir, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Go on.
I'm coming. Choma, he talks about the electoral act.
Yes.
Let's talk from section 1, being the ground norm of the constitution. The constitution being the ground norm. Creating the National Assembly that made law, that is the electoral act, to govern national elections. What are national elections? Presidential, governorship, senatorial, House of Assembly, and reps. And FCT area council elections. Section 7 of the same constitution gave the state House of Assembly powers to make laws for the governance, administration of local government in each of the states. Now, it is pursuant to that section 7 that Rivers State House of Assembly in 2018 made the Rivers State Local Government Law number 5 of 2018. Go to section 5 of that law. Talks about RISEC formulating that the conduct of that election shall be based on the criteria, the standard that will be provided by RISEC. Now, the laws that is governing local government election in Rivers State, let me start. One, the RISEC, the law that created RISEC in Rivers State, created in number 2 of 2018, the local government law number 5 of 2018. Then any regulation that RISEC will bring. These are the laws that will conduct election. Assuming that the law this Federal High Court have told RISEC, INEC, don't release register. Assuming the law have told Nigerian police, don't relate with RISEC. Let's go with the register. I asked him, under what law? I have gone through the RISEC law, I've gone to the local government law, I've gone to the guidelines of INEC. I've not seen it mandatory. When we talk about elections, if you go to the Electoral Act, it even says voters will bring voters card that you pass through the register. It is the regulation of INEC capturing the voters register, mandating them to do so. That the regulation of INEC said upon the date of voting, a citizen will appear taking his name, confirming that he belongs to that political unit. Once your name, yes, that polling unit, once your name is tick, accreditation, it is the national register we are talking about. If RISEC decides today not to use voters register, Emefiele Haga, tell me what law they have contravened.
Please, Laurentia, please help me. Go section 9 of the letter.
It is the maintenance.
You ask now. I just want you say.
I know the section you are talking about.
I want to point.
I want to read it to you.
Okay, let me read it.
Don't waste my time. That section talks about the maintenance of a register. You have not referred. You have not referred to section 15.
Paragraph A.
You have not referred to section 15.
You said, according to what you just said, you said the law set up the National Assembly.
Yes.
To enact or to legislate
over national
affairs.
Yes.
And I am telling you that the National Act or the laws of the Electoral Act has legislated by the National Assembly captured local government election.
It captured council
in terms of the voters register.
Let's have decorum, please.
Section 9, subsection 1, paragraph A of the Electoral Act 2022. Read it.
Now, the first question I want to ask while it's uploading, it's a very simple one, Barrister Jamala.
Yes.
Now, you said that RISEC can conduct election without the voter register.
If they so desire, yes. It is the guidelines, the modalities that they will introduce.
All right,
yes.
all right, very well.
Yes.
Under the Electoral Act.
Electoral Act is for national elections. Let's not deceive ourselves.
Can you just? Can you hold on?
I'm holding on.
What did the Electoral Act say about RISEC updating voter register to INEC 90 days to the announcement of council elections?
RISEC is
of
nowhere.
state of CX.
RISEC.
Of CX.
There
So I need clarity.
There is nowhere in the Electoral Act
Larissa,
that talks about government election. Nowhere in the Electoral Act. He has given you.
You said section 9.
Section 9 sub 1 word. Read it.
Sub 1 paragraph A of the Electoral Act 2022.
Read it.
I hope this is able to bring out, hold on, section 9 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic.
Paragraph A.
The first one says the
are you
National
talking about the
Assembly.
Constitution or the Electoral Act?
Act.
Talking
Okay,
about
of the Electoral Act.
Electoral Act.
All right.
2022.
All right.
Read it.
Let me still bring it out.
Well, while you're looking for it, Larissa, I think I need to, while you're looking for it, I think I need to do justice to some of the things that my brother here has posited. Because, believe me, it's regrettable that someone of his
land. No, I will stop you.
I am not being derogatory. Why don't you first of all listen to me instead of you jumping before being pushed?
Already, the first, your first statement is already derogatory. When you say someone of his, please, you can address issues and not the person.
Okay, fine. It's regrettable that issues like this are on national discussion and they will continue to play by the gallery. Let's tell ourselves the truth. They say who comes to equity must come with clean hands. We're talking about local government elections, for crying out loud. And local government elections has no business or dealings to talk about the national elections. Come to think of it, even when you're talking about, yes, there are limitations to what you talk about when you're trying to, because we have the three tiers of government, which is the federal government, the state, and the local. And again, also, let me posit here. The 2022 INEC Act as amended stipulated on the issue where local government was mentioned was on the area council, which is the FCT, precisely, specifically. The 1999 Constitution as amended, if you recall vividly, even as in 1999, when the local government elections were also conducted at the same time that the general elections were also conducted, if you remember vividly, which was part of the reason why the National Assembly had to do an adjustment for the second schedule, for the alteration of the 1999 Constitution as amended to give power of local government elections and local government to the state house of assemblies. So I think that at this point, there is need for us to understand that. But again, coming back to what he said, INEC is an agency of the federal government. And RISEC is also an agency of the state government. It is the responsibility of the state government to make provision for everything they need for them to be able to go about conducting their programs and activities. And now, if the state government today has directed the RISEC, like my brother here posited, he said that earlier that the RISEC chairman said that there are no arrangement or preparations for elections. And you and I will agree that even the RISEC chairman cannot go about conducting election if the executive arm of the government and every other arms of the government of the Rivers State has not come to terms or given a directive for when local government elections ought to hold. So I think at this point, we need to respect the law of Rivers State High Court, because even the Rivers State High Court law is also of the same power with the Federal High Court law. And just like we already said, we're talking about Rivers State government. Nigeria has 36 states in Nigeria, and out of those 36 states, these same laws are applicable to other 36 states, and elections were all held and there are no issues. So why is it that that of Rivers State specifically is what is being challenged, and all these interwoven actions and the rest of them continue to crop up? So I think that at this point, what we should be looking at is the position of the Nigerian police. The Nigerian police is saddled with responsibility to make sure, just like my brother here, my learned friend said, to make sure that there is safety for all. And like he said, if the Nigerian police say that they are withdrawing themselves according to the judgment that they choose to obey, that they will not participate in the election, and in the course of that election, on that very day of election, there happen to be a pandemonium within the state, will you say now that the Rivers State Police should, shy away from a tension or such nature? So I think that if the Nigerian police is saddled with that responsibility of protecting lives and properties, especially within the jurisdiction where they find themselves, which is Rivers State, it is the responsibility of the Nigerian police to adhere to the court orders. Thank you.
All right. Let me very quickly, before I read this.
We are talking about, you would have read it so that when I respond, you can respond to me.
We are talking about the Federal Republic known as Nigeria. And the GRONOM specifically states that when there is disputes between any law that is enacted by state government as enshrined in Section 4 of the 1999 Constitution, the Constitution says the act of the National Assembly prevails.
Under the concurrent power.
All right.
Prevails.
Under the concurrent powers.
So when we are talking about election in Rivers State,
under
we are talking
the concurrent
about
powers.
State
Please, let's be specific.
Subnational in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So Rivers State does not live in isolation. Rivers State is a state.
There are
in
issues.
Nigeria.
There are issues.
Right.
Rivers State
Now,
lives in isolation of the federal government.
Very quickly.
The residuary powers.
Can I read the electoral acts now?
Yes, residuary powers.
Yes, go ahead, Larissa. You want to hear the
But this is not a matter of
It is a residual power.
It involves National Voters Register. Rivers State Voters Register conducted by a national agency.
And you also forget to understand,
national agency.
And you forget to understand that even the same data of the national register were all collated from the union.
Should I read?
Please go ahead.
Should I allow you
please go ahead.
to turn this conversation into a Banana Republic kind of conversation?
That is what Nigeria is talking
All right. Okay, now Electoral Act 2022.
Yes.
Section 9,
Yes.
National Register of Voters and Voters Registration.
Yes, go ahead.
Now, you said subsection A.
No,
let me start from the beginning. Let me start from the beginning. Let me start from the beginning. He said, the commission shall compile, maintain, and update on a continuous basis a national register of voters in this act referred to as the register of voters, which shall include the names of all persons, subsection A, entitled to vote in any federal, state, local government or federal capital territory area council elections. Let me reread it again.
Don't be deceived.
Why are you agitated?
No. He's the one.
You're the one jumping up.
I want to interpret.
Hold on, barrister.
Yes,
hold on.
ahead.
Let me read it again.
Go ahead.
Electoral Act 2022, Section 9.
Yes, go ahead.
National Register of Voters and Voters Registration.
Yes.
it says, the commission shall compile, maintain, and update on a continuous basis a national first of all, on a continuous basis, a national register of voters, in brackets, in this act referred to as the register of voters, bracket close, we shall include the names of all persons, subsection A, entitled to vote in any federal, state, local government, or federal capital territory area council election. And B, persons with disability status, disaggregated by type of disability.
That would be what you.
Should I go on to section 2?
Is that one you read?
I want to give him something there. You know, Larissa, you know, when reading the INEC Act 2022 as amended.
Act.
Yes, that's the INEC Act 2022 as amended. You will understand that that particular act was, you know, altered as a result of a lot of issues that has been bedeviling our general and national elections.
Altered by
hold on, by the National Assembly.
What time?
I'm coming. Hold on, please. Now, in that particular section 9, you understand that it's talking about national elections that hold, because all the national elections hold within the local government. All the national elections hold within the divisions of all Nigerian.
Hold on. Let me see.
Do you understand me?
Hold on, Lan. Electoral Act section 9 subsection 3 says, the commission shall maintain as part of the register of voters a register of voters for each state of the federation and for the federal capital territory. Okay. Let me repeat it. The commission shall maintain as part of... Hold on.
Part of its responsibility to maintain. Go ahead.
Kindly don't interrupt me, Jamala. The commission shall maintain, I repeat it again, the commission shall maintain as part of the register of voters a register of voters for each state of the federation and for the federal capital territory. Subsection 4 says, the commission shall maintain as part of the register of voters for each state and the federal capital territory a register of voters for each local government or area council within the state and the state federal capital territory.
Yes.
Barrister Jamala,
let
please.
me come to you.
Yes, explain this
constitution. Let me come to you.
Now, all right, go on.
First, the mere citing of Electoral Act 2022 deals with national elections.
Absolutely.
Now, if we go, is it section 5 or section 4, from section 1 down to 5, creating the institution called INEC. He said they shall have a national office situated in
all the states.
Abuja. Then they have state offices, they have local government offices. Now, in the functions of INEC, they said section 9 provides for the maintenance, creation and maintenance of a voters register in all the states first, then all the local government.
Absolutely.
In the states, in the local government of each of these states. That is exactly what section 9 is talking about.
So now, if by this section,
yes,
the INEC is saddled with the responsibility
of maintaining a register for their own election,
for the national elections.
National elections.
Absolutely, which comes in different dispensations.
Hold on.
No. You don't use the issue of national elections to bring in the case of local and state government elections. Absolutely.
Please.
When a state high court, resume or assume jurisdiction over a matter that has to do with the assembly the other time, some of the people argue that the state high court has jurisdiction.
You are deviating.
No.
Section 91. Section 91 is clear on that.
Every other platform that I was opportune to
that is far different.
I said that the state high court lacks jurisdiction. We were somehow abused.
But Amy, my brother, in as much as
Honorable Land.
He's making reference to the Honorable judgment. So why don't we, if you want us to digress a bit, let's handle it generally. Because you don't talk about a jurisdiction.
Honorable Land.
Absolutely.
Honorable Land. If you won't, hold on, Amy. Now, see what will happen moving forward. Gentlemen, since I have tried to moderate and you refuse, if you interject when I do not call you to speak, I will not give you audience to speak again. I will recall Honorable Lan, when Emefiele was talking and Barrister Jamala was talking, you said they should maintain a civil conversation and let each other take turns to speak. I'm wondering why you right now cannot also obey the same order you have. You've been calling them to order and you seem not to obey what you have said. So please. Now, Barrister Jamala, I will still come back to you because you had the floor before Amy interjected you.
Thank you. And
I want you to continue with your train of thought.
Let it not be that the most loudest voice takes the table.
Your voice, all your voices are loud.
I said the most loudest.
Your voices are loud, actually.
Our voices could be loud, but I think
Jamala, interestingly, I've never seen you this way before.
Like I'm becoming.
You're very passionate about
I'm
this.
passionate to the extent that I am somehow.
Are you somehow? You're totally.
No, I'm somehow wondering how we are trying to use the information. Our discussions is being pushed to the public.
And you're educating the public. So
we
you're either informing them right or wrong.
That's what I'm saying. We ought to educate the public.
All right.
But that is my sitting down. You see me somehow want to stand. Is the fact that some of my colleagues want to misinform, miseducate the public. That is my position.
Okay. So educate correctly.
Now, I have told you that when it comes to local government election, and I said Section 9, that the Almighty celebrated Section 9 by Emefiele because the mere mention of the word local government presupposes that local government election is mentioned in that place. We have forgotten that in local governments, INEC conduct constituencies elections that has to do with State House of Assembly. Even the presidential elections, INEC conduct down to the various units in the local government. And so the mere mention of the word section in Section 9 does not presuppose that it means local government election of a state. We have agreed in this studio. I don't know if Emefiele has agreed also that Electoral Act as created by the National Assembly, as we all know, it is elementary. National laws relate to national issues. Alone, national laws is elementary. Civic education, GS1, they study it. National laws relate to national elections and national issues alone. So it will be a clear aberration for us to cite it with respect to local government law.
How come other states that have conducted elections are conducting election with the same voter register? So are they breaking the law?
They are not breaking any law. If there is a
I'm confused at this point.
No, I'm coming. If there is a guideline from INEC that says, once we are voting now, we are going to use the voters register of INEC of 2023.
What database does state CX have?
Do we need to have?
Do CX have a database?
Do we need? See, let me.
So if they don't have a database, anybody can vote anywhere.
You don't need. See, we have what they call national ID cards. Have you asked yourself in the US elections how they vote? Do they have?
No, this is not US. Let's deal with Nigeria.
No, we are growing forward. I'm coming. I made the suggestion.
Let's deal with what is obtainable.
Chama, we must not be started.
For time, actually.
That I know. I've been looking at the time. That we are used to using a voters register. Doesn't mean that we should be confined to a voters register. We're talking about digital elections now. Talking about just sitting in your house and use your phone to vote.
We are not there yet. We are dealing with Rivers State election.
Can start it.
Oh, really?
Yes, Rivers State can start it.
All right.
We're looking at where INEC, if INEC brings a guideline this evening to say what qualifies you to vote is your Diamond Access Bank ATM card. Present yourself in any polling unit. Once that polling Access Bank card is referred to you, you are free to vote. That is the guideline for voting. There is no need for a register.
Is there any procedure? I will ask this question again.
Yes, ask.
That says that voters register must be revised and updated and concluded before elections. Don't interject because I know what you're doing. I will not let you do that.
You asked the question.
No, I am not done asking my question.
Ask the question.
I am not done asking my question. Now, my question is this.
Yes,
is there any procedure during local government elections that voter register must be revised and updated before before the announcement of election dates
For the 2 laws.
by state electoral commissions.
For the 2 laws regulating Rivers State. I'm not talking about other states.
It is what is obtainable,
Where
even
now?
in Rivers State.
No, it
is
is
there
not.
anything like
No,
that?
no,
So what you're
no,
saying,
no.
if I may understand
I
you
will answer
correctly,
you directly,
what you're
no.
saying
Yes.
is whatever is applicable to electoral act does not apply to Rivers State.
Exactly.
Whatever is applicable in the electoral act does not apply to Rivers
It
State.
does not apply to Rivers State,
All
does
right.
not apply to Bayelsa, does not apply to
All right.
state elections,
All
not
right.
national, state
All right.
elections.
All right.
It does not.
Loretta,
Before I come to you, Lion, what do you have to say?
First of all, I want to throw a very cold weight on this particular issue to let it lie, because every other act, its existence come to death in the issue of the 1999 Constitution as amended. And the 1999 Constitution as amended that gave right to INEC to keep registers is the same 1999 Constitution as amended that gave the powers of the local government, including the activities and the electioneering and all other activities, to the State House of Assembly. And the State House of Assembly, doing their job perfectly, creating a RISEC, has already poured a cold water on all of this subject, which means we don't even have any reason to talk about INEC or bringing comparison of INEC data to that of. The only reason why, like I said, the only reason why we are considering INEC register is that, one, members of the INEC are also part of those in extension to the RISEC to certain level. And again, we also know that without RISEC, INEC cannot be able to get down to the grassroots of the units to be able to collect these data. So both of them work together in tandem to keep these registers. But when we are now talking about separation of responsibility, the responsibility of the local government election falls within the SEC of every state. It has no business to do with INEC. And just like my legal counsel here also cited earlier, that even the RISEC has responsibility and constitutional powers to conduct the local government election with or without the provisions of the INEC Act as amended. So we, to make us understand that even the INEC Act has a limit to what it can be able to do, because the 1999 Constitution is supreme over every other act as amended. So I believe with that, we all come to understanding that already.
Not we.
No, myself and every other legal person, especially all the good people of Rivers State who understand that they are entitled to local government elections and as well as dividends of democracy down to the grassroots of local government, ought to engage in the elections of Rivers State. Come tomorrow, 5th of October. Thank you very much.
All right. Emmy, you have something to say?
Yes, like I said earlier, we operate a constitutional democracy. Section 1 of the 1999 Constitution, subsection 3, talks about, in fact, he emphasized more of the supremacy of the federal acts. And that section, that subsection went ahead to say that every law that is inconsistent with the provision of the Constitution by the extent of that inconsistency, that law remain void and
null and void.
Thank you very much.
Chama, I'm not interjecting.
You said void and
Hold on now.
No, you are interjecting.
No.
You will have your say.
He has refused to place the proviso, and that is not
Hold
the law.
on, you will still have your say to correct that.
He has said something now.
I will not be moving down.
No.
Hold on now.
Allow
Something
him.
like the Nigerian police.
Let him have his say. When Honorable Lanya was speaking and quoting, and talking about the law in ambiguity,
He was not
he did not quote the
proviso.
no, he did not quote the proviso, and I didn't hear you interjecting him.
Maybe
So probably because you agree with his perspective.
there was no proviso.
So no, I will not let you harass him on this.
I'm
show.
not harassing.
Let me go on with
He
your
said the
thoughts.
proviso.
Honorable Land did not state proviso. Emmy can choose not to state the proviso. You know better.
That
You can state the proviso. Go on.
That grown norm that baited every other
Jamala.
law and institution of the Federal Republic and at the state level. The question now is very simple. The current RISEC chairman, who is him? A retired justice, right?
Who knows better than you?
I'm coming.
Don't say
Hold on
that.
now.
No, don't say
In
that.
law now, in law,
Don't say that.
I know what he's going to. He knows that.
No.
He can affect.
Jamala, I will not let you say
He
that.
knows better than me.
Jamala, hold on. Now, Jamala, You might be a lawyer.
The judge knows.
Hold on. You might be a lawyer.
Yes.
I am a journalist.
Yes.
However, I'm very educated and enlightened.
Not,
and as to the extent of my knowledge, I know that the law is subject to interpretation.
Yes.
Which means you can actually go to court and if you are smart enough to twist the law to sound good, which lawyers have been doing on my show. Because I will bring another lawyer, you will bring the same constitution, the same section, and twist it and give it branches and arms and legs. The same constitution, the same constitution, the same proviso,
yes.
20 explanations to it. So in this instance, in this instance, you respect his opinion. Don't claim superiority because you just said, you are trying to throw him off balance.
You're protecting him.
Because both of you are harassing him and I'll not let you do that. You're throwing him off balance, you are trying to deviate, you're trying to deflect this conversation. I will not let you do that. So, Barrister Jamala, you are a learned gentleman. Can you not interrupt? Can you not interrupt?
You are the court.
Can you not interrupt again?
You are the court.
Yes, I am the court in this instance. I'm the court in this instance. Let me go on. You may have your say.
From my background, I had all this training. I understand what Jamala is trying to do. He's my friend. He's trying to ensure that I don't speak. He's trying to guard me in a manner to keep the truth from the ears of
I'm trying to protect you. So you will not be misconstrued.
That is the game he's trying to play here. Just to guard me in a manner where the truth will not be voiced out by me.
Go on, Jamala will not interrupt again.
We have several judgments from State High Court here, as learned as the justices sometimes, where some
you were talking about the
where some justices in Rivers State assume jurisdiction in matter the large jurisdiction. That is a judge that did that. The justice, a very learned person. So what I'm trying to say here is this: the current chairman of RISEC is a retired justice. If our electoral act has no bearing in Rivers State elections and every other state election, why will the same retired judge write to INEC requesting for same voters register? Why? In the conduct of Rivers State elections, the same man wrote to INEC that please function us with the voters register as required by law for us to conduct local councils elections in Rivers State, which INEC rightly acknowledged and say we have not given you the document officially. So what am I trying to say here? The law is clear. I know we all have political leanings, but sometimes let us save our society. Okay. Currently, what we are seeing in Rivers State is a situation where some people who want to engage in illegality and want to force that illegality down the throat of every Nigerian. The electoral act is very clear here, and it makes mention of maintaining the voter register and included the local councils and even the FCT.
I won't talk on that.
And the law also went further to say it shall maintain. That is a state election. This is the reason RISEC, who is a retired justice, wrote to INEC in followance of this requirement by law in the conduct of council election in Rivers State. So for me, I think let us allow the law to take preeminence.
All right.
Every state, Imo State conducted election, they wrote to INEC and they based the election on the voter register. Delta State conducted election, they did the same thing, and every other state in the federation. Rivers State is not living in isolation. Rivers State is a state under Nigeria. So Rivers State is a state and is governed by the national laws.
All right.